Hi guys, this video is part 2 of my cycling the entire length of the River Thames without leaving it. Now this became a real battle against the clock because of my ability not to follow sat-navs. I left you in part 1 on a rather dramatic cliffhanger. If you recall, I was on the phone to Tracy with the light fading fast, trying really hard to muster the self-belief that I can actually finish this massive bike ride and reach our hotel before nightfall.
I've crossed the Thames twice when I didn't have to.
So a quick recap, I started out at Thames Head in Gloucestershire, the source of the River Thames, half a day earlier.
That's something out of Blair Witch.
I faffed around far too long before setting off, and when I did eventually get going, I kept getting distracted, having a lovely day.
It's turned into a lovely day.
Until both my two sat-navs screamed at me.
Okay, I went the wrong way.
Because I'd missed a turning or two, and I had to track back more times than I care to admit in a video. I attempted to stay as close as possible to the river's meandering path.
I'm not sure how long this lasts for.
Even if it did mean I might end up needing a hip replacement,
I'm regretting this.
I finished a whole bag of wine gum.
Time for a wine gum. Or four.
Before eventually meeting Tracy the 84k mark just outside of Oxford, where we had a lovely picnic on the banks of the River Thames. I then cracked on, got lost a few more times, mistakes were made, and that's where we pick up the action from. 150 kilometres into this ride with only 20k left until I reach the hotel.
I'm gonna if I keep talking to you, I'm gonna ask you. I'll keep you updated, okay?
However, distance isn't the issue. I have to reach the warm glow of our luxury Wetherspoons hotel, Wetherspoons.
I'm gonna go on the cycle.
Before it's too dark to cycle, as I don't actually have lights and I really don't want to be taking my life into my own hands any more than I have to in the pitch black. I then have to cross some sketchy bits on foot, which is less than ideal, especially with time fading, and it's at this point that it starts raining.
I need this, don't I? Bloody need this.
Luckily it was only a small shower. I powered on, and I mean powered. I really worked hard, and I eventually arrived at Henley significantly later than hoped or planned for, but I arrived and I didn't have to call for a lift.
Okay, I'm here guys. I've made it. Henley-on-Thames, just in time. Just before it gets pitch black.
Where's he gone? I'm sorry, maybe he was.
I made it under my own steam, and more importantly, I did so without leaving the route of the Thames.
Look at you with the camera.
I look like a right Wally standing there on the street corner.
Right, where's the pub?
It's just up there, just past
Hotel,
the traffic lights.
hotel. Luxury 5-star hotel. Where is it?
Just up there. I think it's the one at the end.
Is it me or is it getting smaller?
It's like Alice in Wonderland.
It is like Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? This feels like the end of the journey. Now feels like it. Not pressing stop, being able to get rid of this.
Shut the door. So day 1, over.
Day 1, done. 170. It must be 170 with all the mistakes I made.
Yeah.
I was right, guys. With all the errors in navigation, I'd actually covered 170 kilometres, or 169.9 for any of my Strava followers watching. I had added 5k to my 165k adventure.
How was your little thingy?
What?
Map doodle?
Oh, this is really good. This is really good. I got a bit frustrated with it at the beginning because I misunderstood how to use it.
Oh.
But
And a bit at the end because you wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, but that wasn't the sat-nav's fault, that was me. And for
the
something,
camera's all good?
this is about 70, 80 quid. And it got me here. Yeah, camera's fine. The 360 still got battery. I was trying to conserve it. So I would have recorded more, but that's still got a bit of battery. And I'm on the second battery of that. So the camera's worked. I'm done. I'm going to get in the shower. I'm going to have dinner with you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yeah.
All right. Turn the camera off.
I was really, really happy to have finally arrived. Day 1 was now complete. That was 170k done and dusted. As I dumped the bike in the room, had a shower, we went downstairs to enjoy our hard-earned burger and chips. Wetherspoons do the best vegan burgers, guys. Not sponsored, I'm just saying this. They do awesome burgers.
Oh, this is so heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
As I get ready for the next day, and with Tracy complaining about my camera being really heavy, I prepare for day 2's adventure.
I feel a bit tired, like I've done a bit, but I just put bum cream on. It feels like I'm sitting down in a bowl of meringue.
Ew.
No, a bowl of...
Wait, meringue's
I
hard.
was going to say, it feels like I'm sitting down in a bowl of blancmange. That joke didn't work, did it? I can edit that joke. But other than that, I feel fine. I've got 107k I've got to do today. 107k. South, I've got to go south of the river through southeast London and then get to Woolwich. and then that's where you're going to meet me.
On the other side of the Woolwich Ferry.
Hopefully,
is the
fingers
plan.
crossed if I get there, because we've got work tonight, haven't we?
Yeah.
So that's the plan. That's today's plan. Ask me how I feel.
How do you feel?
All right. We had a good, 7 hours? About midnight we went to sleep.
Yeah.
We got up at 7. We've had a good 7 hours. We've had breakfast.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a minute. How was your Weatherspoon stay in the hotel?
It was okay.
Nothing but the best for you, Tracy.
No. You get cold then.
We need to get going.
Yeah.
Enough of this chit chat.
The plan for today, as I've already alluded to, is to cycle the 100+ kilometre pre-planned route from here in Henley-on-Thames to Woolwich in south-east London.
Go, go, go!
I have to get to the Woolwich Ferry over the Thames before 4 p.m, where Tracy will collect me from the north side of the river. If I miss that deadline, then we'll be late for work that evening.
Super dark!
Which is hardly a cliffhanger, but it is a deadline.
Needed this to start with, didn't I?
Today, guys, because I'm sticking to the meandering route of the river, I get to cycle through central London with its rush hour traffic in cleats. This is going to be one exciting adventure.
This is a long old hill.
The roads leading me away from Henley were really, really busy, and they were also really hilly. It also starts raining quite a bit. I'm not bothered by getting wet. I mean, I prefer not to get wet, but as a novice road cyclist, I'd prefer not to have slippery surfaces to ride on.
Okay guys, I'm going to stop up here and put my rain mac on. I'm getting pretty wet. It's not that heavy, but when you're doing crazy speeds like 25 kph, it's getting me wet. I'm starting to get quite damp. So I'm going to stop up here and put my rain mac on.
Then, because I was cold and it was raining, I made the outrageously poor decision to stop and put on my rain jacket. It, of course, immediately stopped raining as soon as I put it on, and I immediately started sweating.
There we go, guys. Waterproof's on. I'm a tad warmer. It stopped raining now. I put it on. Classic. Right, I'm on my way to Maidenhead. I've got to go through Maidenhead, Windsor. I get to go past Hampton Court as well, which I'm particularly looking forward to. Oh my goodness. Look at this hill. Man, just going to spin up it. Going a bit slow. Man, this is steep. Needed this with the rain mac on. I'm sweating now.
Then, just to keep the not paying attention theme going through this video, from last video, I went the wrong way again. This time, I was even getting annoyed with myself. It wasn't fun.
Okay, sit rep guys. I've gone the wrong way. Oh man, I need to concentrate. Right, let me check the map. I've massively gone the wrong way. I now have to either backtrack the road I came quite a fair distance, or the same distance up towards Maidenhead. So I'm going to do that.
So as I remove this sweat bag, please let me explain to you what actually happened. I missed my turn-in that took me off this busy main A road out of Henley, and I carried on for 3 kilometres until I eventually realised. But because I was already on this main A road, I didn't want to leave and have to turn around and ride back on it again. So I ploughed on. And I will say this rain mac will not make another appearance in this video, you'll be pleased to hear. With all this going on, my attention was diverted away from the sat-nav.
Okay, rain mac's off. I was absolutely sweating, stopped raining the moment I put it on, and then I had 2 gnarly hills to climb. So that was a mistake and a maker, but never mind. So I'm going to just carry on up this road and then rejoin the route I made at Maidenhead. I'm doing the same distance. I've probably added a couple of kilometres on, which is really annoying. I need to pay attention to the sat-nav.
I then arrived in Maidenhead town centre, and I was fairly quickly able to rejoin the original route as planned. I hadn't diverted that far, and the next part of this adventure actually turned out to be a lot of fun.
Okay guys, back on track. It's okay, that never happened. And I will say for the 100th time, as you can hear by my watch bleeping away at me, it is not the fault of the sat-nav. I've got it on both my watch and on my screen in front of me. They're all flashing at me, they're all bleeping. I just chose to ignore it. Oh, it's down there. I think this is part of the Thames Path now, so I'm laughing. No more A roads for a while, hopefully. Oh, I've got to walk over a bridge. This is where I messed my cleats up. I'm on the Thames, guys. I'm on the River Thames. I've got to traverse this nonsense. Right, where am I going now? Right, we're on the Thames Path, guys. This is the Thames here. Let me do a quick whip. Woo.
There we go, Thames there. These cycle paths and trails alongside Dorney Lakes near Maidenhead were particularly enjoyable. They felt like miles and miles of empty green trails, and I had them all to myself except for this cow. Cow by the side of the path. Random. I didn't see another cyclist, dog walker or car for the next 10 kilometres until I hit Windsor. We've just gone through Old Windsor and yeah, I'm in Runnymede now. There's a gravel path here which I could be cycling on, but I've chosen to stay on the main road. It's a tad faster. The extra 5 kilometres an hour makes a difference. Yeah, I'm in Runnymede. This is where the Magna Carta was signed. I was quite excited on Sunday when I planned this, and then I realised that I ran this part of the route when I did the Thames Path Challenge. However, we're on our way to Slough, which I don't think is going to be a particularly exciting part of the route, but then we should be getting into London proper, where I get to go past Hampton Court, and I'm looking forward to that. So I've stopped, by the side of the Thames. Thames is just there. So sit rep. I am, how much have I completed? So 44K complete, and we've got 60K left, almost exactly, just over 60K. And then at 40K, I stopped on this bench right on the banks of the Thames just to take on some water, enjoy the view for a couple of minutes, and eat some sorine bars. But I'm gonna eat this now and then crack on. I feel all right, actually. For someone that did 170K yesterday, my bum's a bit sore. So we're back on an A road. So that's the Thames behind me. We've got to go through Chertsey, and then we pick the Thames path back up, I think, on the other side. Then in between Chertsey and Walton-on-Thames, I reached this small section of the river at the 53K mark. This crossing was quite a few kilometres off the main road, where I assumed would be a bridge. I mean, I think that's a fair assumption. I'm crossing the Thames. Sit rep. This is telling me, I'll show you quickly that. I cycled back and forth trying to find this imaginary bridge until I eventually realised there was no bridge. Kamut had decided that I'm going to cross on what looked like a rowboat. I'm supposed to go over the ferry. I'm not going over on the ferry. A, because I don't know how long it is until the ferry actually leaves this point. And B, I don't know if they allow bikes. I'm too tired to have that conversation. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not Indiana Jones. I'm not getting in a tiny boat with my bike in cleats, and I'm pleased I didn't, as, spoilers, I was able to find another way to cross further up the river. No harm, no foul, guys. Let's pretend that never happened. Let's pretend that Ryan on Sunday saw that that was a foot ferry and decided against it, which would have been a wise decision. And we're back on. Back on, baby. Right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm motivated. I'm enthused. I'm going to say anything with positive affirmations. Oh, okay, I'm not on the footpath. I'm on a driveway into Walter Marina. Hang on one sec, guys. Okay, now I'm on the footpath, guys. I'm enthused. I'm motivated. And everything else that goes with positive affirmations. The annoying thing was I lost about 30 minutes looking for this mythical bridge, and then eventually I had to backtrack, something I really hate doing. However, the good news, I now had fun and adventurous riverside trails and gravel paths to enjoy for quite a long way until I hit Richmond Park about 20 kilometres from now. Sunglasses have gone on. Sun's actually made an appearance. Sun's out, bin's out. Right, okay, we're about to cross the Thames for the 100th millionth time. We're going to take a right down onto the Thames Path past what is going to be the highlight of today's ride, Hampton Court Palace. Palace, guys. Right, let's crack on. I've got time for sightseeing. This is one of my favourite stretches of the River Thames. This is what I was looking forward to. This and then going through Westminster. It's a bit bumpy here, it's probably not great to film. Going past Hampton Court is just probably the most prettiest part of the Thames. And then Westminster, especially on the north side, on the north embankment, pretty much from Battersea Park down to Parliament, because I used to walk that with my granddad. So my nan and granddad used to live in Westminster, Pimlico. It sounds posh, it really isn't. They lived on a housing estate, literally on the banks of the Thames. You could see the river from their flat. We go through South East London. I used to live in South East London. I was born near London Bridge. and that's where my parents still live. So the Thames, I mentioned it yesterday, the Thames played a huge part in my childhood. It was the backdrop to a lot of adventures that I used to have, cycling and fishing adventures. Not intentional, you know, as a kid growing up in inner London, you find fun where there is fun to be had. And the Thames was one of those places. Right, I need to crack on. And then I made my way towards Richmond Park as a learner in a car next to me, as you can see, increased her speed to pass me, as the instructor was obviously laughing and making gestures in a fun way that she was going slower than me and I was on a bike. So I decided to then race her. It's the small things that make me smile that breaks this ride up. There was a learner there. The instructor was laughing because I was going faster than them. So she overtook me. So I thought I'd do a little burst of speed. Situational report, guys. We have just hit Richmond Park, which is great news. Also, I will quickly say we haven't reached Richmond Park just yet. I saw a sign pointing me towards Richmond Park, and I assumed that this was it. I had no concept of distance at this point. I was just looking and enjoying the scenery. I then reached a really steep section of road. Now there's one thing climbing a small hill, but then to have to climb a small hill on the main road with a constant stream of cars behind you is another level, or at least it is for me. The pressure to keep the pace up felt really immense. Also, having 245 kilometers already in the legs made this hill seem like hard not pass. Guys. I will say in my defence that it averaged 6% and it peaked at 11% and lasted for just under 2 kilometres. But in reality, it was a small bump. I mean, it is a small bump. I'm just being dramatic by calling it hard not pass, which, you know, is unlike me. What was that hill? That hill had no right to be that steep. I also said I've been through Richmond Park. No, I haven't. This is Richmond Park. Okay, this is quite a famous cycling route. Yeah, I'm excited to be cycling through Richmond Park. This was the main road through the park. I will say, for my own sanity, I know London very well, but it's weird being on the bike because it's a different perspective. I can see some of the landmarks that I'm going to be cycling past very shortly, but for now, I'm going to try and enjoy Richmond Park. And there's deer.
Happy, 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 feeling so happy.
Super dark.
Happy, 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 feeling so free. Sappy, 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 feeling so sappy.
I then powered through Roehampton and Putney, eventually arriving in Battersea Park. Okay, we're in Battersea Park now, guys. And the start of my central London adventure. And we now have 22k left to go. 22k. It's strange because from here to Woolwich feels like an absolute mission. But 22k doesn't sound that bad. Can I survive the London traffic in cleats? Yes is the answer, really, mainly because the cycle paths in London are very good, but there is a lot of starting. So, can I survive the cycle paths and traffic in London without falling over in cleats? Battersea Power Station over there, you can't see it, but that's Battersea Power Station on the other side of the river. I'm on the north side. Again, yes, because I've got really good at using cleats. However, for a dramatic cliffhanger, I am going to stop here and ask, please don't forget to like this video, guys. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that liked my last video. It made a huge difference. I got significantly more likes than I do on my normal video, so thank you very much. If I can ask that you do the same for this video, I'll really, really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. These blocks of flats is where my grandparents used to live, so I used to spend a lot of my childhood cycling and walking up and down this bank here. I've only got 20k left, and Woolwich feels a lot further than 20k, but London's distorted because it takes you so long to get anywhere in London. Constant stop-starting at traffic lights, cars pulling out, etc, etc. It just takes so much longer to get anywhere, so it feels longer, feels further. Yeah, look, there it is. Houses of Parliament. Pretty cool. I'm also being an outrageous tourist at this point. I haven't looked at my distance or my maps for ages. I literally couldn't care less how far I'd already come, as all I've done for the past 10k is power along through London, enjoying all the sights with a huge smile on my face. This, guys, is why I'm doing this, just enjoying the scenery, the different roads, the hills, the parks, and especially the landmarks. It also didn't rain, which was a miracle, as the forecast for today was 90% chance of rain. I completely dodged a bullet there. We're going down there, and then that's the London Eye. This is the superhighway, goes all the way to the tower, and that's where we cross over on Tower Bridge and go south of the river. I was very lucky and very pleased I didn't need my rain mac. That was never going back on again. It could have absolutely have hammered down. I wasn't putting that back on. I then absolutely bombed it down the cycle superhighway, and yes, it is called the cycle superhighway. I passed the London Eye, Blackfriars, St Paul's Cathedral, and then eventually the Tower of London on my right hand side. I now guys got to cycle over Tower Bridge. This is the tower on the right, guys. Can't see it behind trees. I can see it. This is the worst tour of London on video. But I'm going to go over Tower Bridge now, so it should be fun. Now, I will say, cycling over Tower Bridge was a real privilege, but it was also really, really slow. The road is small and was designed when it was originally built for horse and carts in mind. So I could only really go as fast as the cars or Boris bike riders in front of me. Choosing another crossing point probably would have been quicker, but I couldn't not cross over Tower Bridge. If you do a challenge titled Source to Sea along the River Thames, then you have to cross over Tower Bridge. So that's Tower Bridge, and now all that's left to do is get on the Thames path and make it to Woolwich. 12k left. I just want to say on the camera, this is where I was born. Just over there is the hospital I was born in. My mum and dad live about a mile from here. It's crazy. If someone said to me when I was 18, you've got to cycle from home to Woolwich, I'd be like, okay. Someone said to me, cycle from the source of the Thames to the sea. I'll be like, first off, where's the source? And where's the sea? And once I realised that, I'd be like, not on your Nelly. That sounds like a lot of effort. And do you know what, guys? It is. It is an awful lot of effort. But it feels rewarding, I feel good. I then powered through Bermondsey, Deptford and Greenwich, streets I know like the back of my hands. I even got to cycle along the road that I was born on in the 80s, where I lived and where I grew up and where I eventually left when I turned 18. Okay, I'm in Greenwich, guys. It's the Cutty Sark there behind me. As we go around the corner, you might be able to see it over my left shoulder. Right, as you look at it, that's the Cutty Sark. We're about to turn left with Greenwich Park on my right, and then straight up to Woolwich. I only have 6.6k left to go. I eventually arrived in Woolwich, my destination, and this marks the end of day 2's 106km bike ride. Okay, I've arrived at the old Woolwich Ferry. Just need to cross the river now. Get to the north side where Tracy is waiting for me. I've just missed this one. I have to wait for the next one, but I'm just happy to sit down if I'm honest. So the Woolwich Ferry literally takes you from here, where this ferry's coming in now, it has 2 crossing, and it takes you over there. So literally just that far, which is where my journey for today ends. I'm struggling to find a dramatic cliffhanger to add in here. There really isn't one. I loved every second of this ride, except the bit where I overheated because I thought a rain mac was a good idea, but let's forget about that one, guys. Day 2 through London was by far the most enjoyable ride I've had on my bike. And as someone who used to be nervous of cycling in cleats, my newfound confidence levels, and I genuinely feel really confident in them now, my newfound confidence has meant I'm eager to do bigger and more technically challenging rides. All that was left to do was enjoy the cruise across the Thames from Woolwich to Beckton, meet Tracy on the other side and go to work. That's it. Day 2 done. Route complete.
Done and dusted. I've absolutely no idea the distance I've covered. So yeah, I'm finished.
All done.
All done. Just all we've got to do now is put the bike in the car and go to work.
Yeah.
And have something to eat.
Yep.
Not necessarily in that order.
No.
And of course complete day 3 tomorrow from here in Beckton through Essex all the way to Southend. That will be next week's video, guys. Enter clip of dramatic cliffhanger from tomorrow.